remember those years. Yep.
Good. Butter. Good job. Oh, double high five. Anywho, I just had art.
Oh.
You are doing so good writing your name, Roy. Whoa, good job. All right. Now, kiddos.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Don't get hurt. Okay.
Good.
Excellent. All right.
Oh, everything. How's everybody's Monday?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Feels like
Getting close to my bedtime.
I know.
Monday.
Oh.
I hear ya. Especially since I've been trying to go to bed earlier. Like this is
Yep.
getting into my
Start winding
wind
down. Yeah.
Oh.
When we have the time change, I won't have any problems at all going to bed early.
Oh. When is it this year? I haven't even looked yet.
It's after Halloween now.
That's,
Right after Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Like is it the first weekend in November?
Yeah, it used to be mid-October, I think, and then I don't know how long ago they changed it to the first Sunday after Thanksgiving or after Halloween. Yeah. Which Halloween's on a Saturday, so maybe it's like the next day.
Next day? Yeah, I don't know. That'd be nice, I think. I don't know. I hate that it's dark at like 5 o'clock though.
I know.
Yeah, it's hard. Let's see.
Yeah, the first.
Looks like Deanna's
Maybe they'll change it.
reconnect.
So Halloween night, we get an extra hour. That's kind of exciting.
Sunday, November 1st. Yeah.
Wait, it is Halloween night?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's early. Gosh. Well, it's 2020. It's just par for the course.
Right. Oh.
Oh, it looks like we lost Sue and Deanna. I wonder if they're trying to reconnect. I don't know. All right. So let's talk about success this week. Any? Carol, you just muted yourself, so I'm gonna
Yeah, well,
say how are you?
I don't know what you're gonna hear
Oh, it's
in
okay.
his house. So the
No
other day,
judgment.
my son was on a Zoom with his friend playing Roblox, and my husband and I and our little one, or 10-year-old, we're just in this conversation, and I'm like, uh-oh, I think somebody else could hear us because we just go on and on. But anyway, it's fine.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just teasing you. Teasing you. I wonder. I'm just wondering where our friends are.
Yeah, we usually have more than this.
I know. Deanna's usually on, and she was on, and then it looks like she had some issues. Same thing with Sue. I saw Diane can't make it. Okay, well, we'll worry about that.
And I think Melanie's going to try.
Yes.
And then
here comes
Lily. There she is.
Hi. We lost you.
I know my internet gets wonky at 5. It's like something happens around here.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. And of course, that's when I hold all my Zoom meetings
That's right.
You and everybody else.
to make it more exciting,
Right. Adds to the element of surprise. Will I be?
right? Will she be there? Will she stay on?
That's funny. We were talking about successes, but we hadn't gotten very far yet. So if you want to take it away, go
Well,
ahead.
I started getting on the Platinum Presenters Power Hours.
Yeah.
And I've only done one, and it was pretty awesome.
Really?
So,
Good.
yeah. And
I did a couple earlier this year. They're great because it's focused. It's here's your time. Like it's really good.
And the one who led it, it sounded like she was maybe on this. I think they announced them at 3 months, quarters at a time. I think she'd been doing it for about 3 months. And so there were a lot of people who were like, oh, we're going to miss you. And, so I think that's nice for that consistency, I think. But they're going to be probably changing it up on the leaders of the calls. But I think, and I always beat myself up because I just can't seem to get onto those during the week, the noon or the evening ones. And I'm like, they have them on the weekends, and the weekends are easier for me. So I'm like, well, I could do 3 on a Sunday. I could do all 3 that they have on Sundays just to get on and like learn some of the techniques and things that they use. And instead of trying to do it during the week when it just doesn't work for me. So they have so many of them offered during the whole week. So lots to choose from. Yep.
Oh. What is it about those power hours? Like, what's the techniques that you like?
Well, they don't all do them exactly the same. So you can learn from different people, kind of what feels comfortable for you. And this one, she let you ask questions. And so she would just, share her knowledge. And this one in particular said that she didn't have a strong upline. And she many times reached out to the higher coaches and none of them ever responded to her. And she said when she made it, she would never do that. She would always be willing to help anyone. And she said that there are many of those same top coaches that came and asked her to talk on their team calls after she made it. And she had a record in her messages where she reached out to them 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and they ghosted her. And then they reached out to her. So she said that was a great feeling that showed, that she made it and that she would always help anyone who ever asked her any question, no matter where they were in the business or how long or whatever. So I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Her name was
on Successes. Jen, it's good to see you on. Lily, it's good to see you. Sue,
I'm here. I don't know if you guys can see me or not.
No, we're just going to assume you look as lovely as ever.
I'm looking pretty tired, I'm sure. But for some reason, I have a feeling I'm going to flip on at some point. It just won't let me start video. So I don't know.
That's okay. We can hear you really well. So that's good.
Yeah. How's everybody doing?
We're here. I think this is the 9th hour of Zoom calls I've been in today. So this is my favorite one though of all. How's everybody else? How are you feeling, Jen?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good.
Back at it.
Good. Cool.
How's everybody?
Right. No, we're
quiet.
We're just kind of, it's Monday, so.
I know. It's the end of a Monday. Busy day today.
Yeah, it was productive, but busy.
We
were talking success stories, just sharing. Carol shared that she was attended some of the Platinum Presenters Power Hours. So that's what we were just talking about.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
I would say a success for me was that I think we had talked about trying to carve out an hour throughout the whole week last week on our call on Monday, and just saying 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, whatever I had to do. I'm pretty sure I hit the hour. It was very much piecemealed in different days, but that's more than I've done in a while. So I'd say that's a success.
That's interesting because I was actually thinking tonight on my walk about a future post about just outlining kind of how we carve out the time to be a coach, and almost just saying 30 minutes to an hour for workout, 1 minute to post about it on social media, 1 hour once a week team call, blah, 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 blah. And just to show people how we kind of make those, I always call them the mom cracks. You're so busy, but you want to work on the business. You want to help people. You want to respond to messages. But there's certain key things that we do every single day, no matter what, those non-negotiable things. And obviously, being part of like your own health and fitness journey is really important, right? I mean, it makes it so much easier to help other people and share about it and connect. So that's kind of like part of our outline, of what we need to do as a coach. And it's so simple. Like people must think it's so complicated, but it's not. So I was thinking like just maybe even sharing that kind of outline in a post, like easy,
Yeah. Yeah. And especially because, for the working moms and then the non-working moms, like I'm curious too, like what does it look like for the moms who don't have a full-time job? Because it does look very different, but it's still, I think full-time moms are busier than I think I am at work probably most days because you're trying to kids, of course, looking at you. But it would be interesting to see. And I actually just got done listening to the National Wake Up Call, which was amazing if you haven't listened to it yet. But yeah, she had me just wheels turning. If you guys haven't listened to it, definitely get on it early this week because there's a lot of really good nuggets in there.
Okay.
I have to agree with you, Jess, is I just fit it in when I can. This last week, in between sightseeing and being a full-time mom and teaching the kids and relearning math, even though I thought I was pretty good at math. It's just fitting it in where I can. That's how it's been lately. So, I mean, I used to have this huge chunk of time where I had from, 9 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon where I could get all the stuff I needed to get done. And now I don't have that at all. So it's just finding, and I think that's for everybody. I mean, I think everybody's lives have changed a little bit. And so I think it's just finding a new way to fit it all in. Even if it's piecemealed here and there, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have an hour block. You can, take 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, but it's that focused 15 minutes that you really need. So yay, Sue.
Yay, we can see you.
I am here. Yeah, I agree
it's
with
so
you.
true though. Oh, go ahead, Sue.
No, I was just gonna say, I agree with you. It just seems like everything's so busy right now with just life and work and everything that just trying to fit in 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, it kind of adds up after the day's up. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like, I think, Jen, your idea about putting a post out there is really interesting. How do you coach? I'm taking a communications class right now for my degree, and I had to do an activity this week, which was pretty cool. But it was hard. It was hard, but it was not hard because we do this all the time. We try to figure out who we are about self-awareness and trying to figure out what works. But one of the questions was, how do you think other people perceive you? And, again, in this class, there's a lot of like kind of negativity around that. One was like, why do you always pick the wrong guys? Well, so for the ones I chose, it was how do you balance working, being a mom, being a coach, like all those things. How do you balance the fit life? And then also, why do you post on social media so much? Because I feel like that is a thing that I know I get a lot of questions about that. But I think it's something that you guys should think about too, because it was really helpful for me to get in that mindset of like, how are people perceiving me? How am I putting myself out there? I think it's always just nice to kind of look at yourself from the outside in as a way to kind of get your wheels turning. And so, like I said, it was a really helpful activity. I had to do a magazine cover, which kind of helped me break through some barriers that I had that I didn't realize I had. And it was like, if this was a magazine about you, and I'm happy to share it, it's kind of embarrassing because I had to do it myself, but like I put like, it's a Badass Babes magazine and like Jess Wilkin, how does she balance it all? And like, so it really boosts your confidence because you're like, man, I am actually kick-ass. I am a badass. And then, just thinking of those things, like what do we do awesome at? I had my boss ask me the other day, she's like, sell yourself to me. Like, what do you do really well? And I'm like professionally, I stumble. And so like, think about that for yourself. Like, what are those roadblocks that you have? Think about those things that you just really kick ass at and write it down and like reflect on it. So those are things that you can share. Like, Lily, you're kicking ass. You guys are in an RV and you're still posting all the time. You're trying to balance all that stuff. I mean, every one of you guys have really awesome things that you're doing. And we're all struggling right now. So just sharing it with people, like, you can do this. I always say, you can build a business sitting on your toilet, hiding from your children. You really can.
Literally sometimes.
It's so true. So true.
Oh, that's funny. Well, and it's interesting, and I like that you shared that, Jess, because I've kind of been thinking about it. There's we all get bombarded with, I'm a business coach or I'm a network marketing coach. I'm like, I try to put my blinders up and I'm like, just focus on platinum presenters, because obviously Christine knows what she's doing. Janelle knows what she's doing. All of our amazing, Jenna, like, we have the right formula, but for whatever reason, this chick spoke to me. Turns out she's local. Jess O'Connell is her name. I guess she was a Beachbody coach for a couple of years. She was head of the Denver Market Council. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. So I've done some of her freebies and whatnot. I'm a little bit upset with her last little 5-day challenge, because it was 100%. I mean, it's 100% the, here's my freebie, now buy this course thing. And like her last worksheet was like, here's the outline, and I'm gonna teach this to you when you spend $600 on this other course. And I'm like, can you give me something useful other than this hook? Because now I'm like really pissed off at you. But anyway, end of my rant. But in like creating, a lead magnet was one of her freebies, and it's like, okay, what, sell yourself. Like, why am I the expert? And when you think about like, okay, what have I done? Like, not to mention the COVID craziness, like my life personally was crazy this year. I went to basic training in tech school for the military at 35 years old with 2 small kids at home. But like, it was weird in that I could have been most of my peers' mom there, but it was kind of a cool, like, refocus, and okay, I can really use this in my business. And where there were, girls half my age couldn't pass their PT test or physical fitness test. At 35, I got a 93% on mine. And I have to really, that's thank you, Beachbody, for keeping me active, even, if it's 20, 30 minutes a day. I mean, you're not doing much more than that anyway. And it was all, the PT that we did was all HIIT style training, which I did Insanity in the Work before I left. So it was like really helpful. So it's like, I know not everybody in my age group is going to join the military. Like, everybody I know is getting out after a full career. But just like, okay, to show what's possible and to be, a badass mom that, wows their kids every day, or just, does something that, you maybe didn't think you could do, but like coming home. So being away for 4 months and then coming home, I still had another 2 months of where I left and I went to work every day. I went to base every day. I've been a stay-at-home wife and mom for a decade. And then coming back to like, okay, I have a work thing that I do, but then I come home and be wife, mom, head of house, like put everything together, but reintegrate back with my family. Like, that's tough and took a lot more adjusting than I thought it was going to. Like, my husband and I were a well-oiled machine anyway. Like, we've got each other. It's amazing. But just to get back into those routines, or to figure out like, okay, how do I do all of this, focus on the other training that I still have to do that are their CDCs anyway. But then come back to really build my business, because I'm not active duty at SCARD. So it's that 1 weekend a month. So I still have like real life to get back to, but I also have this other training. But like, and I've just rambled and lost my train of thought. But I was just thinking, like, how do you do all of this? Where you can feel really overwhelmed if you sit and like write down, this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing all of this. Mm-hmm. And you look at it, you realize, wow, like that is pretty cool that you're able to do all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I know I posted a little late, but I thought it'd be cool to share a quote that resonates with everybody. We don't have to do this. It's kind of something to think about, because I, again, was doing some PD before this and I was like, that one hit me in the gut. So does anybody have any quotes to share? If not, that's totally cool. just was
Well, I just posted to my Facebook last night from the Wizard of Oz movie. You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. And that's sort of what we've been talking about already. Is we're all badasses in different ways, but we have it in ourselves. We just have to realize it and share it. And also, along with that quote, I always think about Chris Downing in Shift Shop, and he says so many motivational things in the workouts, but he says it's already in you. He says that like over and like it's already in you. You just have to get it out. You just have to use it. So those kind of go along with each other. I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah, it's a great quote. It's so good. It's so powerful. It's really, really good. I know Carol and Jen are in a Bob Heilig training that we're kind of just doing on a whim. I think it's 4 different courses, but it is all about belief, and it's just so interesting because we talk about this all the time, belief. But I was thinking this a little bit for us and how can we apply this? And so I want everybody to like think about a time when they like knocked it out of the park, like when they were really, really successful with something. It doesn't have to be Beachbody. It can be anything. It could be you found the guy of your dreams, like you made it, like whatever it is. But I want you to think about that and then think about, again, kind of what on the National Wake Up Call, they're talking about reverse engineering a little bit. Think about steps that you got you there. Did you believe that you were going to find the guy of your dreams, or were you like, it's just not going to happen? Again, sometimes that happens, but the point is like thinking about you have to believe that you are going to get there. Like that's what I keep hearing over and over again, and it just keeps coming up now that I'm doing this training. And again, I know we've all heard this before. You have to believe in yourself. You have these limiting beliefs. But if you actually believe that you're going to get abs and you put the work in, you're going to get abs, like it will come. But just thinking about that, like whatever it is for you and your goals and what you want to be successful in, it's pretty powerful. I don't know, I'm just thinking about that a little bit. And, I know I shared last week about 80-Day Obsession and how I'm like, this time I know I'm going to knock it out of the park. And you know why I'm going to knock it out of the park? Because I told myself I'm going to do it. I believed that I'm going to do it. So I believed that I'm going to get to that next level. And, there's so many times that we can apply that. Like, I knew with my broken leg, I was like, I know I'm going to heal from this. I'm going to be eventually fine. I'm going to have a new normal. I didn't think, oh my God, this is going to stop me from the rest of my life. This is going to suck. I'm never going to be able to run again. Who cares? I can't run. If I want to, I will, but I don't want to. Like, if I wanted to run, I would believe that I'm going to run again and I would go run. I really don't want to run that bad. So thinking about that for yourselves and those limiting beliefs, it's very, very powerful. So
yeah,
I rant over.
One of mine is never failing means you're probably not pushing hard enough to get out of your comfort zone, because I live in my comfort zone a lot, which I think probably all of us do to a degree, in every part or some parts of our life. And I know for me that getting out of my comfort zone is definitely something I struggle with daily. And so I remember that you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to get uncomfortable and push yourself. So workouts are easy for me. That's not the hard part. The hard part is getting uncomfortable and pushing myself to meet new people, to make the connections, to ask the questions, to,
Yeah. And even just like to not do the stuff that's comfortable, like to not go watch Netflix or, those, the things that seem that just, I don't know, it's hard, but it's like you have to be dedicated and committed to not doing those those simple things, I don't know. It's so hard, but you're right. That's a really good quote, Lily. That is getting out of that comfort zone. And what's so comfortable for so many people, you guys are making me think about this earlier, but people are so comfortable with hopping on to Facebook and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I catch myself doing it all the time. If there was some intention behind the scrolling, like we could help them, make it feel like a little bit more productive. Like you're actually making connections with people. I think people could resonate with that, but.
I have an all-time favorite quote that I sometimes use even with customers is why not you? You know, we heard that long time ago, I'm sure, in this business early on, but it can apply in so many different things. Like, you know, even if you're struggling, you know, or to start a journey with your health and fitness and, you know, they're telling you, you know, while, you know, I'm area, you know, sometimes just being like, well, why not you? Like, why not? You know, and just putting it back to them, and same with our business too. I mean, that's where I always think about it is like when you see all these other successful coaches and then you say to yourself, well, why not you? I mean, it's the same thing. It's like we all comes back to belief, right? It's all that kind of belief quote stuff too. Like just knowing that if other people can do it, you can certainly do it too. I think Carol has already mentioned a quote like this, and Lily has already mentioned a quote, and Jess, you've mentioned, I mean, it's all kind of the same thing. And then the other favorite quote, which I swear if I ever got a tattoo, it would be this, is it is what it is. I mean, I just love that quote because I'm a no BS kind of person, and I don't take kind of situations as like, that's it. No, it is what it is. And we'll move forward. We'll move past it. We'll figure it out. Like, this is life. There's always going to be stumbling blocks. There's always going to be hiccups and tough things. So it is what it is. Like, let's just do it, you know? So I love that quote too.
Yeah, it's a good one. Those are both good ones. I love that why not you one. That like, again, you can apply that in so many different areas. Why not you? And
even with your kids, right?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you can do it. Why not you?
Yeah. Why can't you be successful while you're e-learning?
Yep.
Why not?
And I think most people don't have an answer with that. I mean,
Right.
Do you have an answer for why are you not as successful as you want to be, or where you want to be in life, or?
Yep. And it usually is all of my excuses. It really comes down to that. It's really like, well, I felt like, you know, hanging out with my husband tonight watching TV, you know, but I felt like it. So of course I have it in me, but it comes down to these barriers and these excuses that I'm putting up.
So true.
Yeah. It's so much self-reflection because you have to figure out what your barriers are. Like what you just said, Lily, a lot of people don't know why not them. They don't know why. They don't realize that Netflix is taking up their life. Like I saw somebody said they binge watched the new Ratched.
Yeah.
Which I watched the first episode and I was like, oh God, I feel like I want to murder someone now. But my point is, like, people don't realize how much time they're wasting doing nothing. And like, again, on the National Wake Up Call, she had actually talked about something Lindsay Matway had shared, which was like at the end of your life, and you look back on your life, and if you had a twin, you have two people, one of you was very successful, one of you's not successful. Like, how are you going to feel about that if you just literally wasted your life watching Netflix? I mean, honestly, like, again, I watch Netflix. I get it. I watch TV. There's so many people out there who need what we have, and we have, again, the total solution to help people get to whatever level it is they need. And success looks different for everybody. And I think that's also a thing, you know, at my business, at my full-time job, we talk a lot about expectations, and sometimes we set our expectations up too high, like, and sometimes we don't set them high enough. So really thinking about what is your capacity to build this business, like, and then as we talked about today, it was reverse engineering those goals of your capacity. You know, if you think you can do 100 invites in 10 minutes, that's not realistic. Like, you need to really figure out how long does it take for you to do one invite. You know, okay, I've got 30 minutes, I can do 5 invites. That's realistic for me, or whatever that looks like. So being realistic and setting those realistic expectations so you don't feel like you're failing all the time.
Yep.
Yes.
We keep losing Deanna. She must have bad service.
I'm sad.
She was freezing.
She was. I know. I was like, is she really bored or is she just frozen? Oh.
So I found one that I liked yesterday, but my favorite for a while has been just "You've Got This."
Mm.
You know, and like when I was on, I don't know if you guys know, but I used to skydive. So when I was on a skydiving team, my team, we would always be like, "We've got this, let's go," you know? And so that's always been my favorite. But the one I found the other day that I kind of really liked is that, oh shoot, now I just lost on my phone. But it's, you know, whether you think you can or you, I wanted to just read
So
it.
you think you can or you can't, you're right.
You're so
Either
right.
way, you're
Thank you.
right.
Yeah. So I really like because it's so true, you know, like whatever I think, that's what I'm going to end up with.
Yeah.
You know? So, hey, I'm going to challenge us all. You know how, Jen, you know how you said do those posts with our pictures in there with
Yeah.
our little quotes? I say we all post something with our favorite quote this week with our own pictures in it.
Yeah, and we could even say we did this discussion during one of our team call, like reflect it back to what we're doing as a team. And, you know, maybe tag everybody in their posts. We'll have lots of like motivational posts going.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
That's a great
That's such a great
challenge.
idea.
Yeah, great challenge. I challenge everybody.
I love it, Sue and Jen. Way to go.
Perfect.
Okay, so I saw in the post for tonight about Canva.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't read why, but I'm trying to learn that lately. Are you guys all, do you guys subscribe to it or are you just kind of learning it or?
I have the free version and it works really well.
I use it every day, usually, almost every day.
Yeah.
You have the free version or did you pay
Yeah.
for it?
There's so much
so
free.
much. Yeah, there's so much on the free version. You don't need the paid version.
That's what I figured.
There's great
Um,
templates. It's really great.
Templates, they come, I use mine to get the sizing right, like for Instagram, your post, or your Facebook stories or whatever. I've also used it to make like my own letterhead for freebies or like, you know, the Dear Doctor letter, I'll put it online or like letters I had dreamed up before I left to like hand out to people, just like prospecting letters or whatever. You can completely customize it all on the freebies. You can change your fonts, you can change your colors, you can upload. Yeah, I mean, and it's really just like I wouldn't say glorified paint, but it's kind of like glorified paint where like you just copy paste, you can throw in whatever you want, you can format it. I use it for like MailChimp email templates as well. Like you can, and it's all free. Like just go play around and have fun.
Cool. Thanks.
And the interface works really well on the app too. So like for Instagram stories, you can create your stories within Canva. Like I like to work on my computer, I'm just faster. So I'll build them on my computer and then I'll save them. Well, they save to your Canva, like your profile. You can put them into Instagram or wherever. I mean, you can screenshot it, you can share it however you want. It does work really well across both platforms. So
Just do you use the app or on the computer, or do you just go to canva.com?
I usually go to canva.com.
I use both.
I've only used the app and it works great. But
Yeah, the app is great. I'll do like pictures, Instagram stuff. I'll do on the app on my phone. But like I said, the PDFs or the letterhead, I use canva.com.
Yeah, I like working on my computer. I like typing. I do text and stuff obviously, but I'm just faster. I'm more efficient on my computer. So I do 90% of my work on my computer.
Cool.
Yes. All right. Any other quotes that people want to share? I think everybody else. Courtney, did you have?
I don't know. There's a bunch. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but definitely the whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. I mean, that's 100% kind of my life motto. I mean, I find a new one every now and then, but I'm drawing a blank. But I think we've all hit them.
Yeah.
You know, the good big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the one that like hit me that made me think about it. And
Mhm.
with you guys was from, I think it was from the National Wake Up Call. I'm pretty sure it was like one of the first things this woman said. She literally, you're gonna have to take notes because it was an amazing call. But she said action comes from inspiration or desperation. And I was like, again, as I've been doing self-reflection a lot lately, I'm like, why can I not stay consistent with the business? And, I know we talk about this all the time. I haven't made it a non-negotiable because I have a cushy job, or, I'm too busy because I have a job, like you find all these excuses. But I was like, that one is just really, it's an inspiring quote. And I just thought it was a really interesting one. I think my all-time favorite one though is, what's the one where it's like, but what if I fail? But oh my darling, what if you fly? Like, again, it's kind of that why not you, that whole like that belief of like you can do anything you set your mind to. So I totally missed your chat there. Is it part of your work-life balance?
Well, I was just thinking like I'm not making it, here we go back to excuses again, but I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just thinking about how we balance it all too, because we don't, yes, we only have one life to live. But yes, we have big goals and big dreams, but yes, this and yes, that. And I sometimes sit and think to myself, I've got to have work. I've got to have work-life balance too. Work and Beachbody's work too is included in that. So
yeah.
I do love, from years ago when Shalene started the whole like work smarter, not harder campaign. I bought into that big time because I felt like for years I was training with Beachbody and not implementing anything. And it doesn't have to be that hard, so like figuring out how much time you really do have per day or per week. If you can't do it every single day, if you're doing it like just on the weekdays or more on the weekends, but figuring out how much time you really do have to put to this business. And then what can you get done during that time? What is the most important things you need to do? And just do that and don't try to do more, just to get things rolling, just to start seeing some consistency, because that's really what I out myself too, so that I do have time with the family and seeing the kids like their sports games and spending time with the husband and your full-time job and, all the other things you do. So I'm not trying to say like, don't do it, but I'm just saying, figure out what you can do and how much time you can do it. And like, maybe make the outline, like I was talking about, like, you need an hour for this, you need 20 minutes for that, and just kind of like, that's just my advice, because everybody is different in this business. Everybody has different lives. Everybody has different things going on. And the basic things we need to do to be a successful coach, everybody has the time to do it no matter what, but you just got to be efficient with it. And maybe we're getting too bogged down with other things and not moving forward with the things we really need to do. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So
that makes total sense.
Yes.
Yeah,
it definitely does.
Now, and I haven't been on the power hours in a while, but like at the beginning of the year, they did share an outline like that. And everybody has all these trackers, and I'm pretty sure it was Platinum Presenters. They have an outline, like 5 minutes for invites, 5 minutes for that. And I had a bunch of them printed out and trying to do, because really I feel like that is helpful, because we are all busy. Everybody, we're trying to do this for whatever reason, so we can have more time from, with family, from the other job. But to be focused. So I don't know if you have one that's really worked for you. Maybe you could share that, and I'll see if I have mine saved somewhere that kind of worked for me. And I think the key is really implementation, right? Like we have all these, because I'm the worst of it. I will buy every single planner. I will fall into that. I'm like, let me try this, let me try that. But I don't stick with one thing for long enough to see yes or no, is it really working? So.
Yeah, I know. I get excited about shiny things.
I mean, I always
This is it.
I've always told you guys on like many calls, like just being consistent on social media is really important because we build our whole business on social media. I mean, there's going to be the random time we run into someone and we chit chat about it, right? But I mean, for the most part, they've seen things going on social media with us. And so like I've had coaches that were uber successful with this business and then they stopped posting about their journey or their fitness or providing inspiration or providing tips for people or like just being really consistent. And I mean, on a daily basis. So if you stop, it stops the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to pick up all over again.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the basic stuff of just posting your journey, and in the mix of that, you have to invite to something. If you're not inviting to anything, no one's going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to say, oh, go Jess or go Lily, or like, you look great, but what's that doing? So you have to have for Beachbody On Demand or, your Shakeology, even just saying what do you guys do to do, like ask questions, you know what I mean? Engage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simplest things we can all do, I think.
Yeah, you're right. And, I know for me, sometimes it's the start that stops me. I'm like, it's going to take me too much time to do this. And something as stupid as doing the laundry, I think I had shared a couple weeks ago, I timed myself and how long does it actually take me to fold laundry out of the dryer? It was like 4.5 minutes. And I'm like, in my brain, I'm thinking it's going to take me 20 minutes. And so I don't do it and I will save it all up. So then I can binge watch some Netflix while I fold laundry for 2 hours. Again, that's not really good use of my time, but yeah, it's like finding those chunks of time and don't let the idea, we overthink everything. We overthink inviting. Like I forced myself to sit down today and go through my stories and literally just say, thanks for popping in my stories today. I'm so excited to start our Unstressed Challenge because I definitely need it. It's starting today. And I wasn't this long, but I said, hey, if you ever need anybody to hold you accountable or a friend in this, I'm right here. Just let me know. And I know the let me know is the killer in this business. But I think there's a switch in what's going on in the social media. People don't want you to be, I want to just give people an out. I'm like, let me know. So I'm here. And when you're ready, I'm here. And I'm going to keep talking to you. But just let me know when you're ready. Because that's all we're waiting on. It's not like people, I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten invited to so many parties, t-shirt parties, Pampered Chef. I'm like, if I could see another invite to something, I'm going to put a post out there to say, please stop inviting me. And I don't want to be that person, but I also don't want to be that person that's just, spamming people with all these random invites. So it's like having these conversations with people, getting yourself in their inbox. And the stories, like I said, are a really great place to start. I always forget that and how simple it is just to be like, hey, thanks for watching my stories. If you ever need anything, let me know. I'm here. Just so people know that have been obviously watching you, that you're here to help them. Like
Yeah, I'm going to totally use that, Jess.
Huh?
I'm going to totally use that. That's a good one.
I was writing it down as well, Lily.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed too, because I know you guys all link up your Instagram and your Facebook. So like Instagram, I had like 50 people watching. And on Facebook, I had like 130. I'm like, that's 180 people right there that I can reach out to and just say, thanks for watching. I mean, I didn't get through my whole Facebook list, but I'm just saying there's ways to engage, and we've got to get in these people's inboxes and let them know that we're here, because there's so much noise going on. There's way too much going on. People don't know who to trust. So we have to be the ones that they can trust. Yes. So I think just algorithms in general right now are so shitty. I'm sorry if your children are really still recording. I don't know what's going on. I've heard this in other places. Everybody's like, I'm not getting any traction. And again, we got to get in these inboxes. Like, say hi. Melanie is coming on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyway, I've been on a soapbox all night. I did the National Wake Up Call. Apparently, I'm like, oh, let's do this. Boxing. But at the very end of the National Wake Up Call, by the way, it was funny because Kevin says, you know, a lot of Beachbody coaches take this and they are constantly doing training. We're all taking in all this training, but we're never sharing, like, take action, take the action. And I'm actually excited because the call that Carol and Jen and I are doing, it's live. It was actually right now, but I'm going to watch the replay. But it is really about taking action, sharing. It's all about, what is it? What's the LSG? Love. So I should know this. Love, share, give.
I think it's grow and serve, right?
Love, grow, serve. Thank you. Like,
yeah.
Dawn,
Only because that's like the same as my church's like slogan. It was so weird that it popped up like that. I was like, oh, is this my church?
Yes.
So,
yeah. It's a different way of thinking of it, but it is really about sharing instead of selling. And so I'm really interested to hear about how Bob presents this to us. And I'll definitely share, and I'm sure Carol and Jen will do the same.
Me too, because I've always been about sharing and not selling, because I hate selling, and I hate when I feel like I'm talking to someone who's just trying to sell me. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, Jess, because you said how many invites we've gotten later. We don't even get the invites. They just put us in the group.
Oh, yeah.
That is so annoying.
Right.
Or the ones who they're always, you know, saying swipe up, or they're always affiliated with some product. They're showing you some product. Like, come on.
They're constantly
saying, Ashley Molstad, we know you're important.
There's another one. The one who did Insanity.
Danielle.
Yeah, she does a lot of that too.
I stopped watching her stories because I'm not getting any good ideas or anything anymore. I'm just getting her sales pitches left and right. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's fine. And I sorry, I had to pop out. But the shared versus sell, I mean, that was the whole thing of this 5-day free training that I just went through too. And it's like, I'm actually just bought and gonna pick up the Go Giver. I heard that was like super awesome, and might as well. Also picked up The Art of War to read. I'm like, oh, that could be fun. Like, folded, right? Like, how do I use it? Because it's all the same mindset, essentially. Yeah, the sharing for selling, because I think we all feel icky selling, because we all hate being sold to, because we're consumers too. We're sellers, but ultimately we're consumers. So how is it? And it's that mindset. And I think that's where one of my holds is like, do I share too much? Do I give, too much free value? But that's part of what Jess O'Connell was just saying, is like, no such thing. But her big for business is share the what, sell the how. So we share, hey, I have all these benefits. I can fit in my snowboarding pants from high school still. I can run with my kids around the block. That's the what. That's the what. But how do I do that? Well, come hang out with me and you can give like ingredients. And she had this great cooking show analogy, like the ingredient, here, the plan is the recipe, we can share the ingredients. We can kind of share the steps, but like then our challenge groups, our paid program, the whole shebang is like the private cooking lesson with the chef. Sure, anybody can, you share the what, people can put it together, they can figure it out themselves, but the people who really want the value from the expert, us, that's our paid group. So yeah, you share a whole bunch of whats, but then not necessarily the how. That's what you're for. That's what your coaching is for, is you are the how.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to think about it. I thought you were going towards the crockpot mentality, which I also love that analogy. But no, the whole, where like the private chef you get to have a session with, that is really cool to think about. Very cool. One other thing from the National Wake Up Call, you guys aren't even gonna have to watch it, but you still should. Beth was talking about creating those Me Too moments in our posts. I know sometimes people get stuck in what to post, and I do the same thing, because sometimes my comfort zone, Lily talking about comfort zones, is just to share. I drank a shake today, you guys. I am so cool. I drank shake. I'm just saying, I can poop now like a champ. It's amazing. But nobody gives a crap. Like they actually don't care. They really don't. So how would I shift that? So they'd be like, I need that too. Me too. I need to go poop. I haven't pooped in 4 days. Like, I'm not saying you should share that, but just Carol.
No, it's like you should know how you do the polls on your stories. You could do like, how many days has it been since you pooped? And you can have a 1 and a 2 and a 3. No, because I can relate to that. That's like one of the main reasons I use Shakeout.
Well, there you go. You just share that.
I've had lots of problems.
I was laughing about the morning we were sitting before we worked out, and we were talking about how we finally got to poop.
I will never forget that. Nutrition
Anyway,
and that
I'm
whole
sorry,
first
anyway.
week.
Go ahead. But no, you should do a poll. Sorry, a poll. A poll on how often it's been since you pooped. Sorry.
Oh.
You will probably get the most answers ever.
You probably
You know,
will.
I might. I did actually put up a story I think it was yesterday, and it was my shake because I was just sharing my shake, but I was like, 17 grams of protein, blah, blah, blah. I was like, pooping power. And I had usual followers. She was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm like, you're the only person who said anything. She's like, really? That's so funny. So apparently people do like the whole pooping, situation. Anyway, sorry, that was, again, my point is creating those Me Too moments, like, again, because so many people don't realize, going back to the whole why not you, some people don't, they have these barriers. They don't realize what they don't know until they're like, oh, I didn't know you're supposed to go to the bathroom multiple times a day. I thought if I only go once every couple days, that's normal. No, that's not, honey. I feel bad for you. Anyway, we won't talk about poop anymore, but again, if you're having those barriers with sharing or post things, try to remember the whole Me Too moments. Like, what would make you say, oh my God, I do that too? And like, try to put that into words so people can hear you and relate to you.
Well, exactly. And that was part of this lead magnet thing too, is it's like, yeah, to create those moments, those hell yeah moments of those exactly the Me Too. And I'm with you, Jess, where I'm like, hey, look what I did. And that's one of the training videos. Nobody cares about your sweaty self.
Yeah, I know.
Like I'm mean sweaty selfies, but it's that getting us out of the selfish mindset. People are selfish. It's not a bad thing. That's human nature. We are all about us. And I think about that a lot when I even just communicating with my husband, like me, my day or whatever, but it's like, no, ask about you, be that people person. Even if you're not an extrovert, like it's easy to just ask about them, and people being selfish will gobble that up, and that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very true. Very, very true.
But I like that mindset shift of, well, look at me as a rock star, but like, how do I ask a question? And it's funny when we mentioned about the stories and not being consistent. So occasionally I'll have a really good, story, super engagement, and even just going back to, portion control, like, hey, do you know what a properly sized serving of protein is? I have like the most engagements I've had in forever. And it was just like, and people talked and I responded. There's the different like methods of how people measure it out, right? But like putting it on them, asking them, if you ask other people for their input, and then that kind of starts that dialogue with them, and you can say, okay, that's a great method, and even that's just starting a conversation. That may not be something, like the food scale people. I was one of those food scale people forever. You like it, and then it just gets way too tedious. But then I like to play with my food. I color code everything, so that's why I love the portion. I love the portion fix. I love the containers. But it's one of those like, okay, how do you, and this is me brainstorming out loud, but like getting a scale person to maybe you try the containers. Hey, how portable is your food scale? I mean, it's kind of portable, but you need a 9-volt battery always. You don't with the containers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that, like, I love how it was explained one time too. It's about, people are like, I'm not taking containers to a restaurant. Well, you're going to learn to eyeball it. And then every few months, that's when you reintroduce the containers back into your kitchen. So like, it's just all about learning because yeah, people think, you know, they need a whole piece of fried chicken, which I guess that's about 3 ounces, but don't eat the skin. Like, you know, just
Yeah.
try to help people understand. I eat the skin a little bit. Don't tell anybody.
It's a rotisserie. It's delicious and amazing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
But no, it's funny because you mentioned that it's about learning. You know, I don't use mine every day, but every now and then, like if I feel off and I'm like my energy's weird, or if I'm feeling, you know, my jeans aren't fitting, I know to go back to serving size. And so I'll portion out what I have, what I think, you know, I'll put it on my plate, what I think, and I'll be like, all right, red container, let's fit it in here. And is it too much? Is it not enough? And then I'm like, okay, here's where I'm at. You know, a lot of times I find where I'm not eating enough and it won't fill it up all the way. So I'm like, oh, okay, gotta have some more, and like make it happen. But it's that check, and it's where you don't have to be a slave to your scale, to your containers, to whatever. Like you do learn how to eyeball it and then just check yourself that. Where I don't know, I guess even being in the bodybuilding world for a couple years, like that is a giant mind. And so you know, you get burnt out, you get weird about things, you get obsessive, but that's why Beachbody is so great, right? Is because it's about learning, and it's about, you know, you have these tools to use if and when you want to, but it's all about balance, really.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Melanie, did you have a quote or anything you wanted to share? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I just wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to share if you wanted to.
The only one that I can think of was one that is actually on the morning call with Kevin. And I don't think it was a quote. I just think there was something that he was just saying. And if I can remember it right, it said, for something to change, you need to take action. And it's something like very simple. And it's not necessarily a quote that he read. He just said it. But to me, it was like, well, that's the most simplest thing that you can freaking do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not necessarily a quote, but to me, it was a quote for me. So I actually wrote it down and put it on my desk. It says like for anything that you want to do, whether it's with business coaching or your kids or yourself or your food, for something to change, you have to take action. So it can relate to anything. And it was just a quote that kind of stuck out to me for any part of my life or my kids' life. So that's all I have for that. But I just figured I'd come on for a few minutes because I got family here and I got to go do dinner. But I figured I'd pop on real quick and say hi.
I'm glad you hopped on. I'll share the recording. So
yeah, so I watched the wake up call. I watched it, but I was in between my son's school, so I took notes for what I could. I actually when I got back on the screen to come on here, I was still only halfway through the coach call or through that call. So I haven't watched the whole thing, but
yeah,
it's a busy day.
It's a really good call too. I think I should
Yeah.
take everything from it. Well, not everything, obviously, but
I took the confidence solution because to me, that was a big thing that to write down for posting. Posting with me is because I have a hard time not being open because I have no problem being open. It's figuring out how to word the post, I guess, so it sounds perfect, even though I know it shouldn't be perfect. In my mind, it's like trying to get it to not be perfect, but at the same time, it's going to irritate the heck out of me if it's not, you know.
yeah.
So I had to get past that perfection part because I have an OCD for that and it's annoying. So that comes to posting, like, don't worry about it, just press post.
Yeah, and you can always edit because I can't tell you how many times I have to edit my typos.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Me too.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm like, oh God, that's so embarrassing.
Well, no,
But then
what's
other times, like,
embarrassing
it's
is
good to have that. It's good to have that on there because people are like, oh yeah, she's real.
what's embarrassing is if you miss like the autocorrect and then your friend types and says, no, it's there, not there, you know, I forget what it was. And I'm like, oh, oops.
So you got traction on your post. So
Right? You did. Silver linings.
being with my thought with her just standing there staring at me. Sorry.
I know. Me too. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
Oh. Your frozen face was fantastic.
Mine, did you get a picture?
Yes.
Oh no. I was saying everybody looked beautiful. I got a picture and everybody was smiling and looked lovely. Oh.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to make it
They were
into a
smiling
meme
at
for
you.
or
That's
something.
your expression.
Oh, my face is so red. I'm scared to see it because
I want to see because I'm like furiously scribbling down notes.
Okay,
I'm
Lily,
sorry, my
what were you-
internet
can
totally
you
crashed.
go ahead?
Oh no, I was just saying that when I post, I always try to remember to try to relate it to myself. So I try to make it relatable. I always try to ask a question. Doesn't always happen. Doesn't always happen in the first part of the post. I mean, there's been a lot of things where, oh, you should always ask a question first so that you get engagement and try to draw people into the post. But again, I just try to make it something that as a mom or a business owner or a homeschooler or at this point, anybody in 2020 that's alive, you can pretty much make anything relatable. And so I try to make it so that they can engage with it. So that's just when I'm posting, I'm trying to remember that. So
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't always happen, but yeah.
Bye, Melanie. Thanks for seeing my
Bye.
face. So I know we're almost out of time, but I did want to share a couple other things that I thought were I just thought they were really good points from the training that I've been doing. Because again, it's all about your story and again, your belief and really just knowing that you guys are all capable of this. And I think that is so powerful and there's so much power behind those words. And I know I want to be successful at this. I just have to define what does success look like for me. And I want each of you guys to do that too. Like what, again, maybe it is 5-star. Maybe you want to be the top coach. That's your thing. But maybe success for me is just being 2-star because I want like quarterly bonuses and stuff. So, whatever it is for you, just figure that out. I think that's really important. But, one of the quotes was the only limitation to building the business and life of your dreams is a story you tell yourself about how it is or isn't possible. And it's so true. Tell yourself it's possible. If you tell yourself, I don't have enough time to do this, then you're not gonna have enough time to do it. So just thought that was a good one. And another one, because again, I started this training. So a few of you who are in the message pod, Beverly is a coach who has she's been a coach for 10 years. She's not on our team. She's just stuck. She was part of the St. Louis Market Council. So she was one of the people who coordinates the whole Super Saturdays, and her and her husband are very big into Beachbody. I had just met her on a Josh Coates training and I saw that she was struggling and I recognized her name and I was just like, hey, I know you, so we just kind of been chatting back and forth. And she was the one who invited me to this. And so I was very skeptical again in starting another training because how many times have we all done training and we're all still here saying, I know everything I need to do to be successful. I just don't do the things to be successful. So, again, he had said, Bob highlighted, it said in the middle of the training, if training were all that we needed, we would all be extremely successful coaches. And it's so true. So I want each of you guys to take action this week. I loved having the hour block and us holding each other accountable in our team in the Made for More page. So Lily had posted that little thread so we could just keep track of people. I thought that was really fun. We should keep that going. But just know you guys can do this. We're all going to do whatever it is that looks like for you. You're going to do it, but you have to believe that you're going to be able to do it. So that's what I got. It's time for me to go to bed. We got this. Yes, that's the quote of the week. We got this. Why not you? Everything is figure outable. I'll throw that one in there for Kim, who, by the way, you guys, I checked on her. She said she's throwing up. Did anybody else check on her? She said she was struggling with the Ultimate Reset.
She started the Ultimate Reset, right?
Yeah, today was day one, and she was like, I'm really struggling. I need energized. I need the caffeine.
Oh, that's
Oh,
sweet.
I wonder if it's something Something in the supplements, maybe. that she's
Maybe,
reacting
and
to.
I don't know. I felt so bad for her. I haven't heard back from her yet, but I was like, I forgot to tell her that tea was like a lifesaver because you're still gonna get a little bit of caffeine in your tea, even if it's decaf. And so I was like, I drank the shit out of tea, and then she was just like, I'm not going so well. I'm throwing up. I'm like, shoot. So if you guys want to send her a how are you, maybe tomorrow or something, could probably use some encouragement. So
I was gonna do it with her, but it just didn't work out, and she wanted to move forward.
yeah,
I have to wait a little longer. I just can't commit to like specific stuff right now.
yeah,
She wanted to start, and I was like, well, I'll be here for you, and I might do it in maybe November. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I gotta get past the hump here. So
yeah,
poor thing, something must be upsetting her. I don't know.
yeah,
I'll check on her tomorrow.
yeah. I'm sure she would like that. I think
Okay.
I thought about I think a couple people might have been interested in doing the reset after the first of the year. I know I would be interested. So
Okay. Yeah,
you
I
still
can
have
wait.
your stuff.
Yep,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fine. And I think I saw Christina Martinez say she was going to do it too. I don't know what
Okay.
her time frame is, but
Yeah. Just have to see that 9-week control freak whenever that thing comes out.
yeah. And you have to finish your 80 days.
Yeah, we should be done like December 6th.
Okay.
So you're not supposed to work out though when you do it, right? So
No.
that'll be right in the middle of 9-week control freak.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to I didn't have any energy the first time I did it, but the second time I felt fine, and I did 220 the whole time.
Mm.
Like I didn't miss a beat. I felt completely fine. So, but
Okay.
you say every time you do the ultimate reset, you can have a different result. You know, it's so
On
interesting.
where you're at in your health when you start it. When I first did it, I hadn't been working out and eating healthy, and so it was a huge change for me. But now, that I've been eating better and doing Beachbody for a couple of years, I would think it wouldn't be as drastic, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Maybe if the timing's right, like I'd be happy to do it like right after Christmas or like right after the New Year, because I do like to get drunk on New Year's Eve. But right after that,
Just keeping it real.
like a 3-week window.
And Lily, we know you have to have your wine New Year's Eve too, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course.
I do know that Tito's is vegan if anybody needs vodka.
Yeah, I'll do my
It's also
Tito's.
gluten-free. I mean, technically all vodka is gluten-free, but yeah, Tito's.
Yeah.
But actually there's one, and I have to do a little bit of shameless plug. It's a Colorado vodka. It's better than Tito's, I believe, and Tito's is like top shelf and top shelf price. This is called Vanjack, VANJACK. It's Colorado. It's just as smooth, if not smoother than Tito's, gluten-free everything, and you're not paying the Tito's price for it. So PSA.
Good to know.
Vodka just as good. No vodka, no cheap vodka off the list. But
Right.
avoid that. But yeah, Vanjack.
Good to know.
Good to know.
To write that one down.
Yeah.
I still need your guys's MBFA pictures for whatever you want to post for the people that completed it. So
Yes.
I owe a week and then I'll send it in.
sounds good.
Yeah.
And then for those coaches who are doing the unstress challenge, Courtney, I still need to add you in. I'm so sorry. I need to add you into the unstress mental.
Yeah, I was looking for it, and I was like,
Sorry.
but I mean, okay.
I'll add you in right when we get off the call, because otherwise
Appreciate it.
I don't know I know Kim had volunteered again. I don't know how she's going to feel, but volunteered to do the post for next week. I'll take 1 week, and I'll let Deanna know too. But if anybody else wants to help with postings for that, we started today.
I can help post.
Cool. And then anything else? I know we still have to talk diet bet stuff. I know we're kind of figuring it out. We're almost there. I think we should probably talk next week and wrap it all up and get some posts out there.
Did you guys talk about a Dallas being on at 7:45 Wednesday night?
No.
I thought I saw that.
I think Kim posted it in our group.
She did. I was just bringing it up. That's where I
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah,
Next,
part of the Platinum Presenters call.
Yeah, I think so. 7:45 Eastern time. So whatever that equates to where you guys are.
Oh, that's later this week though, right? I got the email, but I don't remember. Okay.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Okay.
Wednesday. Mhm.
Thank you.
And then they announced the virtual Super Saturday is November
7th.
7th.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
didn't see that.
I put it on my calendar, but I didn't.
Yeah,
November 7th.
7th.
It's
But
going to be by region.
Yeah, they're doing it by region this year. So I'm not sure how we can, I don't know. I don't know. What I responded to the Western region was I didn't like it because it didn't inspire teamwork and working with your own team.
Mhm.
So, but not that that means anything or they're going to take my suggestion into play, but I think we need to try to brainstorm a little bit and see how we can figure out how to do a team thing around it.
Yeah, definitely. I imagine we can all hop on whatever region. So whatever time works for the majority, maybe we can try to get all on one.
Maybe we could do a short before and then plan an after where we can talk about, when and the info and our inspirations and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
idea.
and it may be because by region because of the time zone. So, Eastern might start at 9 and then Central might start at 9 and then, so that's maybe why they're doing it by region, but I'm not sure yet why. I mean, that's the only information we've had. We don't really have any other information yet, so.
I wonder if it has to do with recognition by region too, because a lot of times they'll do recognition on those regional pages, just to maybe try to build some community around your region. I don't know. I'm sure they have their reasons.
Though. Come on.
Maybe Zoom blew up or something because everybody was trying to get on it.
Maybe the summit wasn't as successful as they thought, and
Exactly.
it was a huge thing. It was probably a logistical nightmare, I can imagine.
How many of you guys are starting 30-day breakaway on the 5th?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I'm not, sorry.
I was thinking of it, but I'm doing 10 rounds with my husband. Should have been done, but I ended up with like a 8-week break once I got home. So I was thinking of that. I mean, I have a lot of runner friends, and it's definitely, it way piques my interest, and it would be great for something because I need to up my run time or decrease my run time anyway. And so it'd be really good. I don't know. And so part of the thing that I was struggling with is like planning out everything like quarterly, monthly goals, blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at them like, oh, hey, 30-way breakaway is like the right, like it's right now. It will give me a 2-week lead time, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. I want to do it, but I need to, I don't know if anybody else is doing it or I totally second guessed myself. And I don't know if like I want to do it.
Why are you second guessing yourself on it?
Because I don't know if I want to like, I feel like I should be doing it with my challengers. Like, I feel like it's too salesy if I'm like, hey, y'all should totally do this and like go do it and tell me how it is, versus like, I want to do it with you. And I think that maybe because I don't like to buy things early because I feel like I spent 6 years of my business just shelling out money and spending everything early and not, getting returns on it. And if I just wait until March, I can get it anyway. I did 10 rounds. I did purchase it early in March for my husband, for him to do while I was gone. And he lost like 20 pounds on it and it was really awesome. And so I'm like, well, now that I'm doing it, like, I feel like I should build on that. And isn't it came out in March, so it's coming out to the general bod.
It did on September 1st, I believe.
Okay, so see, and I feel like maybe to get people in that whole, like, to get people on board, like, let's not get that. I know they get bod for a year from when they buy in early and buy, the challenge pack for it, but like, I don't know. Is that just me being stingy too? And that's why I'm attracting stingy people. Like, I want to buy early, but also the weather is starting to get kind of shitty here now too. Like, is October a good time to be starting a running program?
Yeah, I don't know if people would be doing it after the weather unless they have a treadmill, because a lot of people probably aren't going to be going back to a gym where they would have access to that.
Right.
So I think it's probably now or March when it comes out, like to really do a, I don't know.
Launch
Yeah.
with it.
I agree. I
Definitely,
think it's going to be kind of like the work. When the work came out, it was very kind of like a soft opening a little bit, where it kind of gained popularity over time, where people are like, oh my God, this is actually the hardest workout I've ever done before. And you didn't really know about it. So I think maybe the 30-day will be a little bit like that. I'm going to do it just because I like doing the new programs. I like the energy around the new programs when they launch. I like being in the super trainer, workouts and being in their groups. I like the energy of that and learning, just directly from the trainer. So I'm going to definitely do it. But I don't know where I'm going to be, but I'll be somewhere on the Eastern seaboard between here and Florida. So, I'll make it work one way or another. But so I'm doing it. I was just curious if anybody else was planning on doing it or not. So
if I could run, like I totally would do it.
You can walk, girl. Remember?
Oh, I hate walking.
People
I know. I don't like walking. Like cycling and like doing an equivalent of, what is 3 miles on a bike. Maybe you do 9 miles. I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
I agree. And again, it's not a program for everybody. It is. I think this is a filler program. It's, it's going to be a program that not everybody's going to get into, but I think it's a program that everybody could do if they wanted to or so choose to.
So I like it. I gotta probably get off here quick and attend to my children. My husband's out of town for the week, and I'm like, I'm ignoring you for the time being. But I kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion on this. So like, I feel like 30-day breakaway would be really good, especially like with my new military connections, because we all need to do a 1.5 mile run for our fitness tests. And I know it's essentially couch to 5K, which would be great, because if you can do an easy, I say easy, but if you can do a 30-minute or less 5K, then your 1.5 miles is like no problem. It's easy to do for the fitness test. So that's like why I was kind of wanting to do it, and then to tap into this new, market that I have. Where, like you said, maybe it would be a filler program. And I know like we've all got, but that like the run is one thing that everybody psychs themselves out about. We can all do our push-ups, we can all do our sit-ups, like that's easy. I mean, I say we all can, but like that's the thing. A lot of people, they're like, well, we can do it, or I know my number I have to hit, to pass. Or whatever. So everybody, we can make our number for those, but it's the run that stresses everybody else. So I really think that this would be a good program to get people on.
Well, and Courtney, something we've kind of been doing, especially since COVID hit, and I know you haven't been able to, you've been gone and stuff, we've tried to build this community. And so I'm saying this as, even if you're not able to do the 30-day breakaway, what I do, like, and what I'm going to be doing for this program is saying, I can't actually do this with you. I know it's a great program because I know Beachbody wouldn't put out anything that was anything less than a great program, but I'm going to put you in a group which I'm going to be in there with you to help coach you. But I'm going to put you in a group with my coach friends who are badass, sorry about the kids.
Yeah, no, they're yeah. I'm surprised their first word wasn't enough.
But,
and maybe the sailor, it's awful.
So, I mean, I think, so to maybe help if you're not able, you don't want to do, you want to fish 10 rounds or whatever.
Well, and Jess, I did that with like my only steady client I have right now. She's in your group, the Benefit Fitness Babes. And she's done well, and I'm actually trying to follow up with her next week again too. But yes, and that's what I like about, and I guess it just happened to work out perfectly with COVID. That's what I like about our community, is that we are about helping each other out. So, okay. Well, maybe,
Just an idea.
yeah, no, it's a great idea. I do appreciate that. So I just, now I have to be decisive.
Well, I think that the training that we're going to get on it may help too. I have some questions about it, and I want to know more about it, just to be more informed before making a decision. For me personally, I don't know that I'll be able to do the run. I've tried Couch to 5K many times in the past, don't make it because of issues with my feet. And so it could have been because I wasn't doing something right or wasn't fit enough with the strength part, which I am now. So anyway, just seeing how she handles all the different variations of people, right? Because there's going to be people who are too big to run. There's going to be people who run too fast that need to slow down for their whatever. You know, there's just all these different variations. I'm interested to see how she's going to put those into the program for people.
Definitely. And I think one of the things that I'm most excited about this is that it is the balance of running and strength. And so when I ran my last half marathon, I hodgepodged my run days, but with different Beachbody workouts for my cross training. Because my first one I did, all I did was run, and it killed me, and it was awful, and it was terrible. And so then I was like, Courtney, use your degree. You're an exercise science major. Like, you know, you did this wrong. You weren't balanced. So the next one I did, I balanced it and I ran pain free. And I was like, oh, 40 grand. Yes. Anywho, but so I'm excited that now Beachbody has like an all-in-one. I can tell you exactly what I did. I still have my notes. I still have the BOD workouts that I went and found and that I did and that I pieced in. And so I guess maybe that's a way I could tell this is like, hey, you can do it piecemeal, but why do it piecemeal when Beachbody does it for you?
Right. The whole program.
And that's why I love Beachbody, because I'm lazy. I can do it. I can write people's exercise prescriptions for them. That's my thing. That's what I do. But Beachbody does it for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I were still training at a big box gym, I would be using Focus T25 on my clients because it's legit. It works. It's real and it's done for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, maybe because I was excited about it and then I pumped the brakes. And so maybe I should just go with it.
See what happens. Yeah, hit the gas.
Hit the gas.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, guys, I've got to get off here too. So, yeah, we've got some takeaways, which is post a picture this week with your favorite quote and tag the team.
Yes.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your night.
We'll
talk soon.
See you guys in the morning.
Yes, bright and early.
Bright and early. Bye.